It's time to recognize our veterans, the ones who defended our freedom.
I just kind of felt like there was more I needed to do.
Protected our peace.
Never seen any place as nice as we are here. We live in the best country in the world.
All with courage and honor.
My father, my uncles, even my grandfather was in the military. I believed it was my patriotic duty.
We welcome you to this special presentation of Hometown Heroes, presented by Window World and American Antiques and Jewelry.
Hello, I'm Michelle McCormack, Local 5 journalist, a Blue Star mother, and the latest in a long list of journalists to become the champion of our long-running Hometown Heroes series. Tonight, we revisit the stories of our brave military from Wisconsin and the UP. We start with a Bronze Star recipient who hails from Oconto.
And I came in just perfect, and all of a sudden, my airplane just started going down.
Air Force veteran Clyde Bridger knew the perils of service right from the start, having survived a jet crash during training.
God had to be watching out for me.
He was ready to face danger in the skies, but as it turned out, the military wanted him in special intelligence. While stationed in Tokyo during the Korean War, he received special recognition for uncovering a mistaken transmission that would have revealed American troop movements to the enemy.
And I caught that. I'm sure the commanding officer thought I was nuts busting into his office, but he didn't say anything when I told him what I was doing it for.
During the Vietnam conflict, it was Saigon. He glosses over the commendations he received and downplays his second brush with death.
I think the soldiers and sailors that should be honored are the ones that had the bullets flying at them. I never had a bullet flying at me. I did have a rocket flying at me, and it went off about 20 yards ahead. And that's why I say God had to be looking out for me.
At peacetime, the intelligence gathering didn't stop. It only got more intense.
And there were 3 times in the course of my career that I had occasion to send a message directly to the President of the United States. When I pushed the button, all communications stopped everywhere. I mean, that's how important some of the stuff we were playing with.
Is it hard to have to keep all of those secrets?
Not anymore, but it was hard because my wife never knew what I was doing. And I blame myself to a great degree for the breakup of our marriage because I couldn't talk.
Well, candid about the drawbacks of service, which included years in the Civil Air Patrol, Bridger also appreciates the opportunities, such as meeting Apollo 15 astronaut Al Worden or riding in the Memorial Day parade with his dad, a Purple Heart recipient.
And my dad got to ride in the car with me. And oh man, did he love it. And I just felt so good for him.
At 93, Bridger is still on the move, and with his partner Barb, has volunteered driving folks from his community to doctor's appointments, clocking in an incredible 5,000 miles just last year alone.
I like driving, and I'm helping somebody. And actually, it works both ways, because I get benefit to keep me going. The doctors cannot find anything wrong with me.
So is it that you're from Wisconsin or that you were in the military that compels you to continue to serve like this?
If I had an answer, I'd give it to you. But it's as much to keep myself going, because if I quit, I might just well lay in a corner.
Coming up, the Vietnam-era veteran who went from the Army to an innovator in the disposable diaper industry. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Local 5's celebration of Hometown Heroes. Our next veteran from Kimberly, Wisconsin, enlisted in the Army during a controversial time in our country and in the military.
It was the tail end of the Vietnam conflict. It was winding down. As a matter of fact, being stationed at Fort Carson, all the vehicles and things that they were bringing back from Vietnam and the was all staged there.
At the end of the controversial Vietnam War, Bruce Siebers had his family to rely on for support when he enlisted in the Army.
You know, I believed it was my patriotic duty because everybody was so anti-military. Plus my father was in the military, my uncles were in the military, and even my grandfather was in the military. And so I just felt I was next up.
Bruce is a big believer in sound body, sound mind, and both were put to the test while serving stateside with the Signal Corps, providing communications for the 4th Infantry Division.
You know, learning to get along and live with other individuals was a great experience. So it's probably in the best condition I was ever in my life after basic.
Bruce would get married and start raising a family, and then rose to the rank of sergeant, which affirmed his desire to lead by example.
So we would lead PT, physical training in the morning, any other training, first aid training, whatever other training that we would have. We would lead that for them and help them through that.
And it was with the help of the GI Bill that Bruce went on to earn a degree in microbiology and chemistry at UW-Oshkosh.
I think it was like the 26th, and I started college on the 29th or something like that. So I was all set. I was all primed to go back to school.
Really?
And I did that on the GI Bill, which was a pretty great program.
He started out as a wastewater treatment chemist for the City of New London, but then served in research and development for decades at Kimberly-Clark, with more than 30 patents to his credit, including the special adhesive to Huggies diapers.
What can we do to fix the fastening problems for infant diapers at the time? They were a tape system, tape-based or an adhesive-based system, and then we ended up, our project group ended up developing the Velcro fastener that was placed on Huggies diapers today.
Now in retirement, his grandkids are a top priority. He also keeps that chemistry degree to good use, volunteering as a commissioner of the Heart of the Valley Metropolitan Sewerage District in his native Kimberly.
Well, Bruce is our resident outside-the-box thinker on the commission. He brings ideas and things to the table that, you know, a lot of others probably wouldn't think of, and so that's one of his values for us that we appreciate.
Bruce is a guy who sets his mind to something and achieves it, like learning to play the guitar after retirement. He's not going to give the military credit for that, but it certainly did confirm the quality that he held within him.
The environment supports learning and supports doing other things. So,
for all the things he's done and all that he's achieved, Bruce Siebers is a veteran who remains grounded in love of family and a sense of duty, especially when it comes to reaching out to those who feel uncertainty, but could find purpose in the call to serve.
if you're confused about life, if you don't know what path you want to go down, you need to start somewhere. This is a great place to start out. I think it gets you grounded.
Straight ahead, we ask a 99-year-old veteran to recall his time in the Coast Guard during World War II, and oh, the stories he told us. Next. Our next hometown hero celebrated his 99th birthday this year. He witnessed some of the most horrible things during some of our history's darkest hours, yet he managed to return to the lakeshore to enjoy a beautiful life.
Boy, that's a long time ago. I was just a kid.
Cliff Beaupre joined the U.S. Coast Guard right out of Manitowoc High School. It was during World War II, and all these years later, he really doesn't talk about it unless you ask.
I've been all over the world, just about all over. You name it, I've been there, you know, and it's a lot of beautiful places.
But he's also seen the ugliness of war aboard the Muir, which traveled the world carrying wounded troops, serving as fire controlman, manning the ship's massive guns.
We had 20 millimeters, which are the guns, and then when we had 4 quad 40s, you've seen these guns banging away like this. Then we had 4 5-inch 38s, were the big guns, and I took care of all the ammunition and everything.
But you took on fire while doing that.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's where I damaged my arm and everything, and I got my arm burnt all the way up here. And I remember when we went through the Suez Canal, The guys would come with their Jeeps. We're talking about the enemies now, with Jeeps with the machine guns on top. Then they would come and attack our ships, you know, see? We caught them. We caught them when they were coming. Of course, we had one guy up in the buildings you could see, you know, for miles, and you could see him coming. They didn't get any place. Well, I mean, we just wiped them out before they even got close.
Spend an afternoon with him and he will waver from the funny things that happened when they would pull into foreign ports.
I've been to places where the girls are very pretty. But, you know, they wouldn't let us off the ship there either.
To the unbelievable twist of fate, such as a familiar face in a sea of servicemen.
Looked down there, he was waving at me, and I knew he was from Manitowoc. I knew him, Paulie. Paulie from Paulie Cheese Company here.
After service, Beaupre returned to his native lakeshore, became a home builder, and invested in real estate, raised a family, and enjoys his grandkids and his recent 99th birthday.
I don't smoke. Never smoked in my life. Never drank a lot.
Wherever he may roam throughout his life, Cliff's love of the water has never left him, which explains why some of the time he spends here in Manitowoc. At Angela Senior Living, he's got a reputation as the life of the party.
Don't let Cliff fool you. 99, he's probably the biggest spark in the community.
Perhaps that's why the guy who loves to laugh and joke so much also tears up when he talks about what it means to have served our country. In his mind, being a grateful citizen will do.
We live in the best country in the world here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's, I've been all over the world, and I've never seen any place as nice as we are here.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the honor for a Menominee veteran for what he did in service and back home in the States. Please stay with us. Hometown heroes never stop serving. They just apply that same dedication to their job. Local 5's Samantha Petters brings us the story of Army veteran Robert E. Salzman.
Our family was kind of in a way, kind of like a Norman Rockwell family. It was just, everything just worked.
Robert's son Ronald said he gave a good example, living a life of commitment to his community and his peers.
Only graduated 8th grade, that's as far as he went in school, and started out as a teenager working at local farms out in the county.
Then after attending a trade school for machining, Robert began working for L.E. Jones Company in 1942. He worked as a machinist in the company's engineering department.
Mechanical engineering is what I saw the most from him. He would build, when he needed a tool, he would build it. He didn't have to go buy it. And he would build things that you couldn't buy sometimes, because he was a designer. He was an old school engineer.
Robert soon enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1943, where he was assigned to the 602nd Army Engineers Battalion in Europe.
When World War II came, he enlisted, went and fought, and came back.
After his military career, he returned to work for L.E. Jones Company until his retirement in 1986, totaling a 44-year career with the company. And at a congressional resolution and state tribute ceremony on February 23rd, L.E. Jones board members and employees and local leaders gathered in his honor.
Bob was the second employee here. Now, the first employee's name's on the door. His contributions to our community, to our country, and his service to our company, well, they've been long-lasting.
It says something about the company that they feel that way and that they continue to honor him even after several years that he's been gone. And I get the feeling the spirit is not gone.
Along with his achievements in his professional career and as a soldier, Robert Salzman was a respected and beloved father and husband.
Well, he's a great dad for starters. He was hunting, fishing, that was what he lived for outside of work, camping, gardening. He was into all that stuff. He had a shop at home. He used to build things at home for neighbor kids or neighbors, fix farm equipment for neighbors, anything that had to be done. He could do it.
His passing at the age of 99 on September 6, 2022, greatly affected the communities of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But now his legacy lives on among his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. In Menominee, Samantha Petters, Local 5 News.
Next, we go below the surface, where an Afghanistan war veteran found ways to heal the wounds of service through scuba diving. Welcome back to Local 5's celebration of our hometown heroes. I'm Michelle McCormack, the latest in a long line of journalists, proud and honored to bring you the stories of our veterans. It is one of our longest running series here at Local 5 that never loses support, not from our corporate sponsors or viewers like you, and we thank you. Our next veteran lives in Shawano. He served in Afghanistan, but then had to go well below the surface to come to terms with his service.
When I'm in the water, you're weightless, and a lot of that joint and muscle pain can kind of disappear when you're under the water. And mentally, it's quiet. It's a completely different world that you get to explore.
The calm U.S. Army veteran Mike Hagel finds in scuba is a far cry from the torment of a military career cut short by a combat injury during the war in Afghanistan.
I knew there was a war going on, and I knew that I could go overseas at any time, and I knew that I could have went there, not got a scratch, and came home, or I could have went there and not come home. And it was just something that I accepted when I enlisted and raised my right hand.
Originally trained in Germany as a cavalry scout to provide intel to American commanders on enemy movements, his first deployment was with the infantry.
We were doing a big push through the area we were at, try and push the Taliban out.
It was when he jumped in as a Mark 19 gunner with a quick reaction force to offer backup to fellow soldiers in trouble that his path changed dramatically.
Crossed over a little creek bed, and next thing I know, it was boom, and I came to with smoke and dust all over, and the people behind us were pulling my buddy out. The Terp came out, my team leader came out and fell over, was unconscious.
Looking back now, he mistakenly wrote off his shrapnel injuries as part of the job and quickly redeployed.
They needed more bodies, and I just kind of felt like I needed to go back. Like there was more I needed to do, in a sense.
But he told me at the end of that second deployment, his body broke down.
Then all of a sudden, I just could barely do sit-ups.
Was that frustrating to have to end your military career like this?
I wish I could have kept going with it the way I wanted to. I had a lot of things I wanted to do and a lot of opportunities that were there prior to me getting injured. And then once I got out, it was a downward spiral. The time overseas just kind of started getting to me, so, the drinking got really out of control. Got into a lot of trouble there.
His relationship with the mother of his first child became a casualty.
And I just fell back into a hole. Started drinking a lot again, doing a lot of dumb things that I shouldn't have been doing. And then I met my wife.
Fast forward, Mike and wife Haley are now raising 5 children, including twins and a newborn who Haley brings to scuba class as a show of support. This sport allows Mike the space he needs as he continues to traverse what he later discovered was a traumatic brain injury, or TBI.
And I got the answers I needed to get a weight off my chest, like I was able to breathe. That was that rung of the ladder that I needed to get up out of to take a breath, and it just changed the course of my life.
And for more information on the Veteran Scuba program, please contact Green Bay Scuba or UA, Wisconsin. I have a link to all these veteran stories and more on our website. Do you know a veteran who has a story worth sharing? Let us know by going to the feedback section at wearegreenbay.com. To our viewers and those still serving, thank you from all of us here at Local 5. We salute you each and every day.
Local 5 was proud to bring you this special presentation of Hometown Heroes, presented by Window World and American Antiques and Jewelry. Thank you for watching.